Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. The Bitcoin ETF is now live for trading. This is something we talked about a couple days ago in my last video. We knew that this was going to be a major catalyst for either a market cycle top or a market cycle crash. Today we're going to be covering our 4-year cycle timeframes, analyzing if I still think that this is going to be a cycle top or if we're going to actually extend a little bit further. Is this going to be a bullish advancement for crypto? Is this going to be bearish? And then most importantly, what are we going to end up seeing with the altcoins when it comes to sell at the end of the year? Are we going to see all of these rally together? Once again, we're going to be looking at the 4-year cycle timeframes for altcoins, knowing exactly when to get out of the market so that we can all stay best informed and make the most profitable by the end of this year. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 21,000 members and growing. Links are provided for you in the description for the people that want to join and sign up for my community. On top of that, if you're new, just getting into these markets and you want extra educational content on how to be more profitable and stay ahead of the markets, links are also provided for you in the description to go ahead and download my free ebook and beginner's guide to crypto. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. So one of the things I want to talk about before we jump into any analysis is just simply the fact that the ProShares Bitcoin ETF is now live on the NYSE.
Live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, it's October 19th, 2021. Please welcome executives and guests of ProShares to highlight the first U.S. Bitcoin-linked ETF. To honor the occasion, they are ringing the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange.
There we go, guys. So it is now live. We now have this sucker open for trading, and now we got to talk about, once again, do I think that this is going to correlate towards a cycle top, or is this going to be, you know, a big news event that actually rallies the price substantially? Now, if you guys remember my latest video when I talked about this, I said that it all depends on when the actual time for release comes. If it releases, you know, inside of October to the 1st of November, then I actually said that that was going to be an early enough point that I'm not going to be looking to take heavy profits, but instead I'd be looking to hold once again to the end of the year. And so there's a big advancement with this. I was always on the fence thinking that this was going to be a sell the news type of event, mainly just because of how futures worked in the last cycle. At the very exact top of Bitcoin's cycle in 2017, the CME futures opened, and it was the exact day that Bitcoin started its bear market. So I was always skeptical about any sort of these advancements with the futures markets. And so when Bitcoin, and there was all this talk around the ETF, I always thought that the ETF would come at the end of the year and we would actually see this somewhat of a cycle top catalyst. But the thing is, guys, we're only sitting here, you know, getting closer towards that end of October timeframe. Really about mid-October is where we're at currently. And inside of mid-October, you know, this is still too early, in my opinion, to see a cycle top. And not only that, but when we analyze the price structure itself, we're just now breaking the all-time highs. I don't believe that the Bitcoin ETF is going to be a sell the news type of event. I actually believe that this is going to cause a lot more price appreciation, and this is ultimately what's going to drive our blow off top. And so really, you know, instead of this being a buy the rumor, sell the news, and then this crashes into the new bear market, I actually think that this Bitcoin ETF is going to act somewhat as a pump and then a dump, right? It's going to launch us into the new all-time highs, into the blow-off top, and then it's ultimately going to cause a crash into the bear market. And so it's going to be a great opportunity for all of the smart money that have been accumulating down here to get a lot of exit liquidity. As a lot of new hype comes into the market, this is really a time where we're even going to see some institutions, some rich billionaires that are going to FOMO buy into Bitcoin, and we should expect to see a massive blow-off top actually follow from this. I don't think that the time frames, I don't think that the price action is lining up towards this being the cycle top. I think that this is ultimately going to create a lot more price appreciation on the upside. So all of us have a real opportunity of making quite a bit of money as we prepare once again for the end of the year blow off top. So for today's video, I want to talk back with the 4-year cycle timeframes and really just analyze some of the things that we're seeing right there so that we can stay best ahead of the market as it stands right now. Now, the big thing that we want to talk about here, guys, is we have a correlation between 2013, we have a correlation between 2017. We're following the same 4-year cycle time frame, so we're going to once again expect to see around the same cycle top at the end of the year, but we need to know exactly when that cycle top is going to be. And so let's go back and actually analyze when the previous cycle tops were. We can see that back in 2013, we ended up topping that last week of November. Back in 2017, we topped around mid-December. And now we're kind of stuck in between picking where exactly is it going to be topping this time around. Now, the big thing that we do know is that this exact cycle looks more like the 2013 cycle. And the 2013 cycle, you know, it went from quarter 4 about right here to the blow off top. It only took about 56 days, right? It was less than 2 months from us to go from quarter 4 until the end of that blow off top. Now in 2017, it was a little bit different. For quarter 4 here, you know, we were looking at approximately 72 days because this isn't going to be right where I drew it right there. It's not right on the quarter. But we're looking at somewhere around 72 days, a little over 2 months that it took us to go from quarter 4 to the blow off top. And so now we have, you know, this time with us right now that we're trying to understand when the best time to be selling out is. And kind of the time frames that I've stuck with for Bitcoin is somewhere around the 1st of December, right? Now, back here in 2013, we have somewhat of a difference, meaning that there wasn't very much liquidity back here in 2013, right? Bitcoin was still relatively unknown. There really wasn't that much money in it. I think it peaked something at like $17 billion in market cap. And so it was really a small market cap in comparison to what we see today. Now, in 2017, you know, we peaked at just under $1 trillion. I think it was like $800 billion in market cap that we peaked here. And we ended up getting pretty much that same sort of rise. It just took a little bit longer in duration. And so now we're at this point, guys, where we need to know exactly what to do by the end of this year. You know, we're coming up to those same time frames. I mean, from where quarter 4 starts, if we were to top somewhere around the end of November, we're looking at, once again, a 56-day time frame, which from where we're at today to go to the end of November, you know, we're looking at like 42 days. Do I think that the blow off top is going to take place within 42 days? To be quite honest, I don't think that we're going to end up getting a top similar to what we saw here in 2013. I think that it's going to go a little bit longer. And that's why I personally believe that if a safe target to go with would be, you know, the first week of December, I think that that's going to be the safest target. But aside from that, not just the 1st of December, but you know, mid-December could be a point that we look to target once again with when it comes to the Bitcoin 2017 cycle. That's pretty much where we topped here. And so I do believe we're going to get a hybrid between both of these cycles. It'll top somewhere in December. That's just my personal philosophy when it comes to taking the profits at the end of the year. And so this is going to be something I update later down the line, but that's just honestly the way that it's looking right now. And now that we're actually breaking these all-time highs, we should expect to see, you know, this blow off top to happen pretty quickly. Something along the lines of 2013, but with just a little bit more length of time, in my opinion. Because once we do break this all-time high, we saw how crazy it was from 10K to 65K, and we were even below the all-time highs here, and we pretty much just had no hesitation into price discovery. I believe that we're going to see something similar. I mean, every single move that we've seen up to this point inside of Bitcoin has been very parabolic. We've seen a massive move on both impulses that we've seen. Impulse 1, we saw a big move. Impulse 2, we've seen a big move. And now with this being the final impulse of the cycle, I believe that this one's going to get pretty parabolic. And we're going to see something along the lines of 250K. I've been calling that for a while. And so that's kind of what I'm going to continue to stick to, right? I think that somewhere around the first week of December is going to be a good opportunity for us to be getting out of these positions. And from where we're at today, you're looking at about 50 days approximately left in this cycle that we should expect to see, you know, a lot of price discovery taking place. You know, something along the lines of this, what we saw back in 2017, something along the lines of this of what we saw in 2013. My guess is it follows a little bit closer to 2013, but the time frames are just a little bit longer than what we saw back in 2013. So that's kind of what I'm going to be watching out for with Bitcoin today. Now, the big thing to understand here, guys, is if we come over here to the total market cap, let's once again kind of talk about where we saw that cycle top in the total. The total market cap ended up topping around January the 1st. Remember that the total market cap ended up having one more final higher high. And the reason for this is simply just because altcoins actually outperformed Bitcoin once Bitcoin made its first lower high in the cycle, right? So Bitcoin right here, when Bitcoin made its first lower high and the new beginning of the bear trend, altcoins actually made one more higher high there, and then they finished out their parabolic cycles. And so that's why we actually see the total market cap top here at about the 1st of January. Now, if we're going to get a cycle top around the 1st of January, we don't have a whole lot of time left until we actually start getting close to that point. You're looking at approximately 77 days, right? So we got about 2.5 months left for when the projected cycle top is of the overall total market cap is going to be. Once again, guys, I do believe that we will see altcoins actually make one more final rally as Bitcoin makes its first lower high. And so when I talk about selling Bitcoin a little bit prematurely compared to alts, I still think that that's going to be the best thing to do. The main reason for this is just simply that's the history of what altcoins do. I mean, even in here in 65K, when we made this first lower high, altcoins actually made a higher high in this move. They finished the tops of their cycles as Bitcoin ended up deviating from its trend, and then Bitcoin crashed, then altcoins crashed once again, and then they crashed even harder, right? And so we saw the same thing even play out right here. I do believe that we're going to see the same thing play out once again as we get closer to the end of the year. We should see Bitcoin make its top, we should see Bitcoin make its first lower high, and then during that lower high, we will expect to see altcoins actually outperform and finish off the tops of their cycles, preparing for the big decline that we're going to see heading into that bear market, right? And so the cool thing that we're watching for right now, guys, is if we're analyzing wicks, we're so close to breaking outside of this resistance right now. If we're analyzing candle bodies, Bitcoin has actually flipped it. Or I should say the total market cap has actually flipped it. And right now we're just kind of in this consolidation period above the previous candle body resistance, right? This is on a weekly time frame. So the fact that we're sitting above both of these candle body closes makes me feel like this is about to be breaking out very soon. I don't think that we're going to consolidate a long time in here. I think it's more likely that we're going to start seeing this thing creep up. And then this is really where we're going to start seeing that blow off top, right, guys? Because this is the cup and handle formation. This is a classic cup and handle formation. We have the top of the cup here. We have this nice handle. The fact that we're just about to break those all-time highs is what's going to set in stone this breakout of this pattern. And I'm telling you guys, I shared with you a number of different examples with these cup and handles. When they break out, they literally go up so fast, so quickly, and it really is just the perfect pattern to be playing out right now as we know that we're gearing up for this blow off top. I'm telling you guys right now, these cup and handles are fierce. And the thing is, guys, the fact that we're seeing this right now, the fact that we just had this Bitcoin ETF get approved, it's now open for trading. I think that all of the charts and all of the price action is perfectly lining up with, everything to do with the time frames of the blow off top. We're going to continue to follow this. I believe we're going to get a massive expansion in price. My personal target for the total market cap is going to be up here at 10 trillion. I do believe that that's where we're going to hit in the total. It just makes sense to me. I mean, Bitcoin, I've always foresaw that hitting at about $5 trillion in market cap. That's just where it makes the most sense to me. $5 trillion in market cap for Bitcoin seems, pretty reasonable. It's going to get very parabolic, but once again, that would be closer to 250K like I've always talked about. The total market cap getting to 10 trillion, it could go even higher than that. It's hard to say exactly. When it comes to these blow-off tops in the mania phase, they happen, they go up so fast that it's hard to know exactly where we're going to end up going. But I mean, if we have anything to look at from the last cycle, we know that this is pretty much what that mania looked like. And if we drop it to the shorter time frames, we actually made a cup and handle in that final move as well. And so we can draw a lot of parallels here in between each of these, right? So top of the cup, handle right here. And this was actually, the same sort of cup and handle formation that took us into that blow off top to close out the end of the year. And so once again, guys, if we analyze the actual fib targets here, let's actually look and see, where we ended up peaking and then how we can end up seeing somewhat of a similarity here between where we're at today. So this ended up peaking actually above the 4236 slightly. And so let's just assume that this cycle that we're at right now ends up going to the 4236 just as a safe measure. Let's see what that would be. The 4236 is going to be about 12 trillion in market cap. So we're right on that path to 250K, in my opinion. We're going to see something real crazy take place at the end of this year. And so right now, we're continuing to follow those same fib targets. We're going to continue to watch and monitor what's going to take place. But I mean, what we saw in that last cycle was this inside of that blow off top. We went insanely parabolic, right? We went from a bottom of 86 billion and peaked all the way up here at 760 billion. So it was a massive, massive move that we saw here. I do believe that we're going to see the same thing. And really, guys, where we're at today is pretty much just right here. We're at the very early stages of breaking out from that. And so in a blow off top, we would expect to see something along the lines of this. And so simply by getting out sometime in December, I don't think you're going to be wrong by doing that, wherever that is. we're just going to watch the price chart. If the price chart starts looking very parabolic, overextended, we're just going to start selling off heavy chunks. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The wrong way is not to take profits, but I mean, as long as you're selling into the end of this blow off top, you're going to do just fine. So let's also talk about the altcoin total market cap here. Because this one is just once again lagging a little bit more behind the other one. Obviously, we would expect to see Bitcoin lead the breakout. It's right at its all-time highs. Once Bitcoin breaks out, in my opinion, shoots upwards of about 70, 75K per Bitcoin. That's when we should start to see the altcoins catch up a little bit. But Bitcoin always does this. Bitcoin's going to break out, make its big move up. Altcoins are going to kind of rally just behind it. They're going to start breaking out. And then once Bitcoin gets any type of short-term correction, usually the altcoins take off after that. So I'm kind of watching for the same thing to play out once again. It's hard to know exactly how the exact moves are going to be, but what we do know is both of these charts look about the exact same. We know that both of these are in a big cup and handle formation. You know, we're just now getting ready to break out at the top of the resistance. Bitcoin's just a little bit ahead. But I do believe that we're going to be following suit once again. And this thing, you know, guys, I believe that the altcoin total market cap is going to be hitting somewhere upwards of, 5 trillion. That's my personal thought on the altcoins. And if we come down here and we draw some fibs, let's actually just take a look and see exactly what that would be based off of the trend-based fib tool. So if we come down from the low, if we come down to the high, back down to here, from the 3618, that's going to be about 5.8 trillion to the 4236, you're looking at about 6 trillion. So once again, if we end up going to the 3618 to the 4236, I think that the total market cap will do the same thing. We'd be looking at around a $12 trillion market cap, total market cap, with somewhere between a 5.8 and a 6 to a 7 trillion market cap in the altcoins. I don't think that's unrealistic in the slightest, guys. I mean, we saw the same thing play out back in the last cycle. So, I mean, there's really no reason to doubt that that's going to be the case, especially with such a bullish pattern actually taking footing. Once we break out of this thing, I'm telling you guys, it's going to get so parabolic. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. But I mean, we have a lot of factors going into play with this, right? A lot of people have doubted that we would get such a big parabolic rally to close out the end of the year. I know a lot of people have always doubted that. And, it's hard to see, right in the moment of things before it's broken out. It's really hard to see that it's going to go up that high. I mean, the same thing happened back down in here, right? When the market was just flipping this resistance right here, when we started flipping it at this move, I was calling for new all-time highs. I was calling for a massive move inside of the crypto markets because I knew that once we flipped this accumulation range that took like 2 years worth of consolidation in here, I knew that once we flipped this, it was going to create a massive move. Now, at the time when I was talking about that, most people were skeptical. Most people doubted that. Most people didn't expect it to happen. But once again, guys, look exactly what ended up happening. It had a massive move well above and beyond the all-time highs. And so now that we're at this point once again in the market, there is more confidence than there was back then. I'll give you that. Definitely way more confidence considering this was at the low end of a cycle. This is at least after a major breakout into price discovery. But nonetheless, guys, most people are expecting, a short little pump, fizzle out, and then that's the end of the cycle. That's not what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, that's not what's going to happen. Whenever you see a cup and handle formation play out, it's not going to create some tiny little, wimpy pump that's going to end the cycle. It's going to create a big euphoric rally. And that's just any parabolic market cycle as a whole. We know crypto is parabolic. We know that. We've seen so much euphoria inside of this market already, especially this run up here when we saw all of the meme coins taking off. I actually bought a few meme coins. I may make a video about talking about them. But the thing is, guys, there's a lot of euphoria in the market. There's a lot of dumb money in the market. We're seeing that FOMO money stepping back in. And this is ultimately going to be the end of all of that FOMO money. This is what precedes the blow off top in the cycle. So we're not going to expect to see some short little pump and then that fizzles out. We're not going to see Bitcoin crash and then altcoins magically go up for the rest of the year. That's not going to end up playing out. We're going to see Bitcoin lead the way. Bitcoin's going to make a massive parabolic rally. And the thing is, guys, is if you want your altcoins to make a massive parabolic rally, if you want to see your altcoins take off something fiercely, we want to see Bitcoin do the thing first because that's how it works. Bitcoin leads the price discovery. It makes the move that the cryptos are going to make. When it tops out, then the altcoins make their moves. But it's only after following what Bitcoin is going to be doing. So if Bitcoin is going to be making this big blow off top, and we want to see altcoins make their big blow off top, we need to see Bitcoin really rally up hard, which is once again why I have this 250K Bitcoin target. A lot of people are going to doubt that. A lot of people have doubted that. I see it all the time. But the thing is, guys, this is nothing out of the line of what we've seen thus far. This would be lining up perfectly to what we've seen in blow-off tops, basically analyzing the last cycle for altcoins. And we really don't have enough price history off of TradingView to go off of, but we know that these things are massive in every single way, right? And so this is kind of the first cycle in which we have a decent amount of data to go off of. But if we're comparing it to what we saw in the last cycle, which I think is going to be a very good tool to use, I do believe we're going to see something massive coming out at the end of the year. So one final thing, guys, is actually analyzing the projected cycle top of the altcoins before we wrap up this video here. Total market cap excluding Bitcoin, altcoins topped at about January the 1st, right? So once again, for these altcoins, we're looking for about the same sort of thing. At the end of the year, we've got 2.5 months. We got 2.5 months approximately left in this bull run. This is what's going to take us into the blow off top. We already had wave 1. We've already had wave 3. This is going to be wave 5 in the end of this cycle before that ultimately starts the new bear market. Now let's talk about targets here. If we end up topping at 5 trillion, let's actually go to let's go 5.8 trillion or 6 trillion approximately. Let's go to there because that's where our fib targets were, and let's look at an 85% correction from those moves. We're going to be looking at an altcoin bottom somewhere right under $1 trillion in market cap. In fact, my guess is we end up bottoming right down here at about 600 billion in market cap, which from the all-time high, if we end up hitting, just under 6 trillion in market cap, we're looking at about an 89% correction. This is personally where I'm going to be looking to scale back into different positions. That's what I think is going to play out with the altcoins. We'll see one big rally like this, and then we'll see something along the lines of this, right? Big bear market as we come all the way back down. That's what I believe is going to be taking place there. For Bitcoin, we should expect to see roughly the same sort of thing here. My guess is we end up topping. Well, I guess if we go from 250K, let's look here. If we go from 250K, I'm looking at about an 85% correction, which is going to be taking us pretty much back down to 37,000. I wouldn't even be surprised if we dropped all the way back down here to pretty much the same place as the altcoins. Altcoins could go a little bit further, but really, guys, where we've bottomed at is historically in between the wave 3 and wave 4, which was right here for this cycle. Back in the 2017 when we landed right on top of the previous 3 wave. And so we would expect to see, roughly the same thing play out. I guess that this structure right here is going to be where we end up finding the bear market bottom. And so that's personally what I'm going to be looking for inside of this cycle. Anyways, guys, this is the video I had for you. Wanted to share with you guys some announcements, some updates with the ETF. I do believe we're going to get a massive blow off top to close out the end of the year. That's going to be the big focus point. Altcoins will top about a month after Bitcoin, so we should look to be taking profits early on our Bitcoin holdings. I'm not going to be investing my Bitcoin profit back into the altcoins so late in the cycle. That's just a little bit too risky for me, but I'm holding my altcoins until closer to the end of the year as we actually end up getting a cycle top early for Bitcoin and then one more rally for the altcoins. So I wanted to give you guys this video just to update you on my thoughts, perspective moving forward. If you guys found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server or you guys want to download my free ebook, links are going to be provided for you in the description for that. For the people that like to join the signals, follow my trades. We just nailed 100% overnight on one of these meme coins. I have quite a few posted in there, and so if you guys want to get access to some of this euphoric dumb money investments that we're going to be seeing at the end of the year, there's going to be so much money flooding into the markets. We're going to make a lot of profit. We've already made a lot of profit in that group, and I'd love to see you guys actually participate inside of that. This is the time of the cycle where everything goes up in tandem, and it's going to be shooting fish in the barrel. So if you guys want to check that out, links are in the description to go ahead and join my video course signals, all of that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.